Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? And once again, just to remind you, I am actually having to record this after I recorded the episode because my original microphone recorded large blocks of white noise. It wasn't that pleasant to listen to. So anyway, you know, I backed the trailer up the other end up there. I didn't actually realise that you could just drive round in a circle, which would have made life a lot easier. Instead of backing in here, I could have just driven round in a circle. Yeah, I also forgot to leave the gate, to shut the gate. I left the gate open for the cows. You don't really want those wandering all over the place. So this time, I'm just going to drive right round in the circle and make life nice and easy for myself, rather than, you know, complicating things. But first of all, there was the matter of the daily question. Now, this one was asked in episode 4, I think it was. Which tractor do you want me to buy? Do you want me to buy this Puma 165 FL, which is a 203 horsepower tractor, 178,000 pounds, or do you want me to buy this Lamborghini over here? There it is, the Mach 250 VRT. Now, I've never used the Lamborghini. It's not that much more expensive than the case, but it is an extra 50 horsepower. So, having never used it before, I think this one would be the best one. And apparently you agree with me as well, because the votes have said that the Lamborghini is the tractor of choice. Now, I can't afford to buy it today, but when I do buy it, you know, when I do have the money for a tractor, that is going to be our main workhorse on this farm. In the meantime, however, I have found a mod that is for a second-hand John Deere 4755 at just £26,000, which is a good price for a second-hand tractor, and it's 190 horsepower. Probably not quite that much anymore, because it is old and second-hand, so it's probably a bit less than that, but I'm quite pleased that I've found this tractor, because it's very similar in style to the 2650, the John Deere 2650, which is one of the first tractors that I drove for any serious length of time. And so this one is really going to take me back. I'm really pleased about that. But now, before we go up and get that tractor, I need to tip out this straw here. Then we're going to go back up to the field, up to the oat field, and we're going to collect up another load of straw, so that we can, or at least top up the trailer that we got, and then we're going to take it up to the farm shop and we're going to sell it up there. Yeah, we've got our 50 cows now, so they'll take about 30,000 litres of straw. We'll be able to see that on the PDA in a little while. We've got our sheep and pigs, we've got extra sheep, we've got our pigs, we've got our beef animals. We're getting a reasonable size farm underway now. Today's question, I almost forgot, today's question is, how many cows do you want me to get? Do you want me to get a herd of 200 cows, a herd of 500 cows, or a herd of 1,000 cows? Now, I realise 1,000 cows is a huge herd. Not quite sure if this map really would support 1,000 cows. Might be better the 500 or the 200 option. However many cows I get, I will have roughly the same number of followers, so the beef animals will have roughly the same number, and we'll have the same number of pigs. The chickens are going to stay at 100, and we will also get, we will also get roughly 1.5 times the number of sheep as we have the other animals. So if we have 1,000 cows, we will have 1,500 sheep. If we have the 500 cows, we'll have 750 sheep, and so on and so forth. So you decide how big animal sort of, how big you want the animal side of things to get. It is your vote. It is your game. Now, we just tip this straw out here. We'll just go slowly up the alleyway while we're tipping. The only thing I don't really like about this, and we'll just look on the portable PDA, and you'll see the percentage of straw. That's a really good little touch. I really like that one. I would like to see that instigated into normal game. Yeah, the bit that I don't like is the cubicles on the right hand side there. You don't actually get any straw in them. You only get them in the left hand side, which a little bit of a shame, because I think the cubicles, that's normally how dairy cows would sleep. But anyway, up to the field, and we need to fill this thing up with straw, we'll just fill this one up, and then the rest of it is going to be round bales. We'll buy a round baler to pull behind the John Deere. But I just want to get a load of straw here to see how much we can sell it for up at the straw sell point. So, nice full trailer of 21 tons, which is actually pretty good. That's pretty impressive. 1,000 litres being a ton, at least that's what I'm assuming. But let's get it up to the shop. Just in round here, there we go. And back it into this shed, because the straw sell point is just in here on the right, just in that shed. But yeah, 21 tons, that's a huge amount of straw to be able to carry in such a tiny trailer. I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't quite seem realistic, the numbers, but then other times it really does, and so on and so forth. You know, it's up and down. The game is fairly close to realism as I think you could get at the moment. I think it will be more so. I think 2017 is going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, around about this time, I'm realising that there doesn't seem to be a tip trigger for this loose straw. Shunt around a little bit and experiment with it, but no. There was no tip trigger is the word I'm looking for. I went away and I did a little bit of research. Apparently you can only tip straw bales here. You cannot put hay bales there, and you cannot put loose anything in there. So, I do have an alternative option. I've got a mod, you'll see it in a minute, which is the straw power plant. And I think that we could put that down somewhere. We've got the wool sell point there. We've got all the timber stuff here. Don't think it would quite fit here. It might fit back in the back corner there. So I could always use the straw power plant, and this is it just here on the placeables list. I've had it for quite a while. I used it. It's actually adapted. Oh, by the way, this mixing station from Mahou, this is absolutely fan-schmabulous. I love that mod. So I may be bringing that into this map, I'm not sure yet. But this is a straw power plant. I used this one in Farming Simulator 13. I used it quite a lot. It was really useful, especially when you're a long way away from the yard. It will allow you to tip loose straw. I have tested that one. So you can put bales or loose straight into that one. It's just a question of finding somewhere to place it if I was to get it. So I'm not really sure yet. I suspect that'll be tomorrow's question. So wait, tomorrow, next episode, is in 2 days. So yeah, wait for that one. Today's question is about the cows, and that's the one we need answered today, is how big do you want me to go with the dairy industry here, and all the animals in general? Because we got the beef and the pigs, it does mean that we do have to keep up with straw and with producing grains, so it is going to stay as an even mix of the two. But in the meantime, as I've got nowhere to tip this out, and I've used up all the available space on the cows and pigs and so on, I'm just going to park this one here and leave it here for now. I'm going to need it back at some point soon, because I'm going to need to put grass in for the other animals. But anyway, this John Deere, I'm going to need a front weight for it. I think probably the heavy weight is the best one to get. We've got a lighter weight somewhere. Not quite sure where that one is at the moment, but I think this heavier weight is going to be the best option for this tractor. And then, of course, we want the round baler. Now, this is a lovely little machine. I've never actually used it before. I think it was like a brief introduction at, on 2013, where you did just very briefly use a round baler. That's the only time I've ever used it. Never used it for the rest of the game, which is quite surprising, because I have used most of the machines, I've tested all sorts of mods, but no, not round baling. It just didn't appeal to me, having to stop all the time to wrap the things, so I always went straight for the square baler. But this John Deere 4755, look at that beast. Now, when they made these older John Deeres with a rounded front on the cab, they only did those for a while, because originally they had a square front on the cab, and then they went to the rounded front again. And then it went to the rounded front, and then it went back to the square-shaped cab. These rounded front ones, they've got such a unique look about them. And because the engine sort of takes up quite a lot of space out the front of the tractor, I think it makes the thing just look more powerful, look more imposing and more impressive. I really like the feel of these tractors. And I'd say it was the 2650 that I drove, which was an old 70 horsepower, I think it was. It might have been an 80. It might have been 80 horsepower. I can't remember the exact figures. But overall, it's pretty good in here. The guy sat in the seat is a little bit different. The headless guy, when you turn around and look out the back, is a little bit freaky, but yeah, overall is pretty good. And that sound, oh, that sounds pretty that does sound pretty darn cool. And then forward a bit, yeah, belching black smoke, very bad for the environment. This is not the tractor you want if you're trying to save the planet. We'll offset it by, I don't know, we'll do something good for the environment to offset the amount of black smoke that this thing belches out, because that can't be good. But look at it. Look at that thing. The one that I used to drive, it never had the front linkage like that. It, you know, we just put weights on the front, you know, the big, the kind of, I can't remember what the exact name is, so I think it's like leaves or something, but yeah, you have 25 kilo weights or 50 kilo weights, whatever they are, and attach them all to the front and then bolt them on, where there's no point, no linkage or anything to pick up. Anyway, we've got this baler on. We're going to take this one, we're going to get it on up to the straw field, and we're going to start doing some round baling. But just listen to this tractor as he takes off with a roar. You've got to have the back window open. It doesn't open too wide, so there's not much danger of it being smashed on a trailer or anything. Oh, listen to that sound. Sounds beautiful. Oh, I love this tractor. I really do. Anyway, this is just, remember, this is a second-hand tractor. This is not going to be the main workhorse of the farm. It's not got a massive turning circle on it, or particularly small. It's got quite a big turning circle, I should say. But in we go. It's not going to be the main workhorse of the farm. It's going to be a standby tractor, sort of a reserve, something that will fall back on as and when we need it. Incidentally, the warning signs that you just seen, you'll probably see them again in a minute, on the side of the cab, those are the same as in the 2650. It's quite good with some of the details in there. Anyway, start up this baler. We fold it down, that will automatically unfold the wheels. We can get it going. Oh, I love the sound of this thing. I'm a big person for sounds in games. I know some people turn sound off completely and just listen to music when they're gaming. I always have to have the game soundtrack on. Whatever music might be playing, or just the sounds of the game. I'm very much that I have to have the sound going in the game. It makes a huge difference to me, which is why I always try to, when I edit and render my videos, I always do try to include the game sounds as much as humanly possible, so that you can hear what's going on as well. That's just my personal preference. Oh, that buzzing is just to indicate that we're getting almost full, but we do have to take it up to 100% so that we can empty the baler. And if we tip it right here, I got a feeling that this bale is going to roll all the way back down to the bottom of the hill. And as we don't actually have collision on any of the hedges, that means it's going to end up down by the road somewhere. So we'll just back round the corner and we'll tip it out here. So you open up the back of the round baler. That one pops out. It does look pretty tight as to whether you can close that the back down without having to pull forward. We do establish later on, actually, that we don't need to pull forward, but so I will just, spoiler alert there. I should probably have said that first, actually. Anyway, so we're going to carry on and we're going to do some round baling here now. We're going to bale up all of the, well, I say we're going to bale up all of the field. I will bale up some of the field now. And then, in between this episode and the next episode, I will finish most of the field. We'll do a little bit at the end, at the beginning of the next episode, just as we get a bit more baling in. Nice little change. We haven't done any of this yet in this series, and I don't do baling that often in my time-lapse series either. We're just trying it in cab a minute, and it's alright. You can't see the back of the baler, which is not great. I don't like that, because of dropping the bale out. And also this headless guy. Yeah, headless guy, not so keen on. Gotta be honest, not quite so keen on that bit. Anyway, I'll stay in cab for a little. I think I'll stay in cab for a little bit. Yeah, I do actually find it a lot easier to bale when I'm out of the cab. Most things with a windrow, I find it easier when I'm out of the cab. Following the row sort of 50-50, but especially when I'm doing something like the combining or turning hay or mowing, anything like that, I just find it a lot easier outside of the cab. So I will be out of the cab for some of these things, like I have said before. I hope it's not too sort of game breaking for you, as I am trying to go for realism in this one. I know some round balers now, they sort of have a mirror or two on them. Some more of them do have a little camera mounted on the back. The only problem, that's all well and good. The problem you get is that the huge amount of dust, and that's one thing that isn't represented in this game yet very well, is the massive amount of dust you get from the combines and from the balers and things like that. As they go, if you ever get a chance to see them working in a field, you will see huge clouds of dust following them along wherever they go in the field, and those clouds of dust are as thick and choking as they appear to be. Okay, they can be a bit of a menace, to be honest. Yeah, I've got a few little odds and bits and pieces around here up the top. We'll pick up these short bits of work, and then we can start on the long land work. Although we've actually picked up most of the, we've done all the headlands now, so that's most of the short work done. I've now can start on the long rows up through the field, and you'll notice that I don't actually go, oops, a little bit too far there, a little bit too enthusiastic. You'll notice that I don't go up and down, up one row and straight down the next one. There is actually a real life reason for that. When you're using a machine like this, if you spin round tight and go straight back up the next windrow, you can actually damage the PTO shaft. The PTO, obviously you can turn a corner while it's still driving it, but the tighter the corner you turn, the more pressure it puts onto all the joints on that power take. It's called the power takeoff shaft, which is the bit that powers the machine from the tractor. And yeah, the further round the corner you get, the tighter the turn on it, the more pressure it puts on all the joints in it. And they have been known to break. You get special ones now that have like a double joint in them, so you can turn a sharper corner with them. It's still not ideal. You still don't want to be turning too sharp a corner, because it can actually put so much pressure on them that they will break. So because of that reason, I've always gone, I leave a gap of 2 or 3 windrows and drive up and down like that, so that you're only turning gently on the headlands, and then you're not putting undue pressure onto your machine. Because you've got to remember that when you're using this in real life, if the machine breaks, it is quite costly to replace it. It's not like this game that the amount of money that you earn from using it is nowhere near like you would earn in this game. Okay, it's a lot less. A baler, it's just the bits for the baler. They're a lot more expensive, so it's a lot more involved with earning the money. But that's the same with anything in real life, isn't it? You play any simulator game. So yeah, I tend to go for, I usually go for about 3 at a time. I'll go up this one and then I'll skip a row and come back the other one, and then I skip 2 rows and go up. And I either do it like that or I do 3s and 2s. It works out quite well. But oops, no, I've got to shut the back down. Don't forget to shut the back down. I have actually seen people using round balers and do this, and go flying up the field, but normally the round baler will just start stuffing everything back in again. It can make a bit of a mess. You don't get many experienced people doing that. That tends to be the rookies who are just learning the job. It's always quite amusing though. Shame that it doesn't actually do it with this, just sort of throw a bit of messy straw out the back, maybe a bit of wrap in it as well. You never know, there might be some mods or something available to do that in Farming Simulator 17. And that is going to be coming out so soon. I'm getting really excited about that, I've got to be honest. That is very soon. We are going to be having it. Right, I am soon going to be running out of time. I think I've got a couple minutes left. Remember, today's question is, how big do you want me to get with the dairy on, well, all of the animals really, because I will scale it, the dairy and the other animals on this map, on Melbury Estate. Do you want me to go for 200 dairy cows, 500 dairy cows, or 1,000 dairy cows? I think this map would actually support 500 dairy cows, 500 beef animals as followers, and 500 pigs. And then I will do 1.5 times the number of sheep, so it'll be 750 sheep. I don't think personally that we have enough land here to fully support 1,000 cows plus, you know, the same numbers for the other animals. So you decide if you want 200 animals, 200 dairy cows, 500 dairy cows, or 1,000 dairy cows. Okay, it is your vote. It is your game. Just going to have time for another couple of runs up and down the field, I think, and then it really is going to be time for me to go. I'm quite enjoying this round baling, actually. I know it's a bit of a nuisance that you've got to stop all the time. I'm quite looking forward to being able to pick them all up, so I eagerly await your decision on which telescopic handler I'm going to get, and next time I'm going to be finishing up this baling, and then we need to go and get some water and take that up to the pigs and the beef animals, because they take water. We don't actually have water put in on this map for the sheep and the dairy cows, so it's only the two that we need to concern ourselves with. So we'll be doing that next time, mostly focusing on that water. I've got a few other little tasks and stuff that I want to do next week, but the first one is going to be getting this telescopic handler and picking up these bales. Oh yeah, we're going to need a trailer as well, aren't we? I don't think we've got a trailer at the moment that is particularly suitable for it, so that is something we're going to have to look for. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please head down below and give me a like, and if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends all about me. That would be awesome. Thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later. Let's just tip out this last bale. There we go.